Good evening to you. Mark Suttoth, HurricaneTrack.com here, a little after 10 a.m. Eastern Time. I am in Gainesville, Florida. Made it down here with my good friend Brent, who came up from St. John, the U.S. Virgin Islands, once again to help me by driving and just handling things. What an awesome thing to do. I really appreciate his help. I'm tired, so I sound tired. Let's get right on with it, though. Not a lot of new information tonight. I just want to kind of touch upon things, give you my thoughts on what I'm seeing and what to look for. First of all, look how busy things are out here. 93L on its way to becoming a tropical depression, maybe eventually a tropical storm. This will stay out in the open ocean, but it's just kind of amazing to see something out here this late in the season. That's pretty rare. And so it shows you that the main development region, which had all that negativity said about it, is still alive and well. So this will probably develop a little bit more, but it won't be any impact. It won't bring any, it's not going to be able to go all the way over here. In fact, it'll turn more northerly with time and eventually weaken because upper level winds are not going to be very favorable. Then we have Leslie, of course, and this is still going to just kind of mill around out in the Atlantic. Just want to show you this real quick. Maybe ending up eventually towards the Iberian Peninsula. What is that, you ask? That's where Spain and Portugal is located over here. So a very strange life that Leslie has had, maybe ending up over there near Portugal, maybe coming in towards Portugal in the eastern Atlantic. Then, of course, we have Michael. Pressure down to 970 as of the 8 p.m. intermediate advisory. We'll get a full advisory here, which I encourage you to read. I'm not going to wait up for it myself and report on it. I've got to get some sleep so I can be nice and healthy and energized for tomorrow. But, the winds are starting to pick up and the pressure has been falling all day, and it's well on its way to intensifying as it moves through the Yucatan Channel here. And let's turn off the 5-day part and just focus on the 3-day map. And you can see that it's going to move out of the Yucatan Channel. That's this area right in here. And once it clears that and gets into the open Gulf away from all the land masses, I think once it's out in this area, and that's what is indicated on the Hurricane Center track, that it will become a major hurricane. And it could be quite strong. We'll just have to wait and see. There's the chance that it struggles the whole time as well due to dry air that is prevalent up here north and west of the system. But water temperatures being what they are, and the fact that it has done so well for itself, so to speak, despite some pretty strong westerly shear, I think we need to err on the side of serious caution here and make sure we're prepared for the potential of a major hurricane, a Saffir-Simpson scale Category 3 or higher. Yeah, it could be higher. Could be a lot lower, too. But, we need to be careful with this one and not just, hopefully it won't be. You know how I talk about that. Hope by itself, not a good planning tool. And again, just a reminder, you folks here inland, please keep taking this seriously. Watch it closely. There's not much preparation you can do. You're not going to evacuate. But just be ready, okay? And as this comes in, be ready to move to an interior room in case trees do fall, if you have a lot of trees near your house or your business or whatever. And the threat of very heavy rain and gusty winds. Travel will be very difficult as this goes on through Wednesday into Thursday across parts of the southeast. And then eventually, if we look at the 5-day forecast here, the full forecast, this could go up and maybe impact indirectly southeast New England as it passes offshore post-tropical, transitioning into more of a mid-latitude storm up here, energized by the atmosphere and the ocean, but more atmospheric processes involved at that point in time, and then eventually south of the Maritimes of Canada. So looking at the broad shot here, I want to show you this satellite animation from tropicaltidbits.com. Look at this, the whole Atlantic Basin. There's Leslie. So much for a below average season, huh? There you go. There's what'll eventually be TD 15 probably. And then more energy trying to come off the coast of Africa. Here is Michael. And then we have this upper level low sitting over here, helping to sort of drain out some of this energy from Michael. And then off the shot here in the Pacific, I do want to show you this because this is going to impact, you know what, I got to go back to Tropical Tidbits, the main page, and pull this up. I want to show you this. Sergio is going to bring some impacts to parts of the southwest, but you see here on the loop as it loads, look at that eye. That's amazing. That is a huge truck tire eye, and I mean, you get the idea. So let me just go back to the Hurricane Center site and show you what the track looks like. Excuse me, a little bit of a cold. Sergio, there we go, drifting northward. This is what the, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Bear with me. Look at this. So this will go into the southwest after crossing the Baja as a tropical storm. So just reminding you, look, there's going to be a lot of rainfall in this area, and that can be problematic. Too much rain. We've seen what that can do already numerous times over the past couple of years, and Sergio will be coming in to the Baja and then eventually spreading moisture across northwest Mexico, southeastern New Mexico, and then into parts of western Texas. So just be alert for that. And then if we look at a close-up here of Michael in the Gulf of Mexico, trying to develop that deep convection, this is not the healthiest textbook example of a hurricane that I have ever seen, certainly. But I do believe that once it gets out away from these land masses right here, sort of tripping it up a little bit, that as it moves up into the Gulf, the open Gulf, that it'll start to intensify and have that more classic look with a well-defined eye, etc. It just looks too healthy in the global model field. It really does. And I'm going to talk about that more in the morning when we go through the overnight runs. It's just the rounded appearance of it at the 850 millibar level. You know, when I look at these different layers of the atmosphere and the modeling, I see the signature of a very healthy tropical cyclone, a hurricane, and that's what this is. That's the generic term. And so I think that it'll continue to intensify, and the modeling is showing that as well, for the most part, touching upon Category 3 with most of the modeling. Some of it not quite as aggressive at all, but we'll see. You never know. Maybe it won't do much, but boy, you better be ready if it does. Even an 85 mile per hour hurricane coming into that portion of the Gulf Coast will bring some pretty severe impacts with a storm surge, you know, on the order of 8 to 12 feet. 8 to 12 feet of storm surge. I mean, that's ridiculous, and we need to be prepared for that. So let me just give you a couple of clues here. National Weather Service, you want to know what's happening. I talk about this often. You want to know what's happening in your area. You know, I'm concerned about my town. So you go to weather.gov, weather.gov, that's the home page of the National Weather Service, and you can either put your zip code in right over here, right there, or if you know your geography enough, you just click on one of these counties down here, or a region, Florida Panhandle as an example. And you're going to get all kinds of information right here, and you can scroll down, and you can start looking at a zoomed in area, and it shows you the watches and the warnings, and you say, you know what, I live in Panama City, or my uncle lives there, or my mother, or whoever. I got a son that lives there. I'm not saying I do, I'm just, you know what I mean? So you click on Panama City, or you can type it in over here. You would just type Panama City, or Apalachicola, or Cedar Key, or whatever. And then here's what I want you to read. The hurricane local statement. The hurricane warning, storm surge warning, those are all important as well. But that hurricane local statement is your key to understanding what to expect in your specific area. So you click on that, and it brings up the forecast information from your National Weather Service office in that region. So, and you see here that the headline, Michael could develop into a potentially catastrophic event for the northeastern Gulf Coast. That's a very attention-grabbing headline. It should be. And then you can read all about this. It's not too technical. In other words, it shouldn't be over your head. It'll give you specific information. But here's what you have to do. You have to read it. You got to go in and help yourself. I cannot tell you everything. So it gives you the situation overview. It gives you the potential impacts for wind, surge, and more details, okay? And it tells you where these are supposed to happen. And this is written for your local area. All right, so this is very, very helpful. And you can read this. You can go back to the home page, read about the storm surge warning, and so forth and so on. So that's a very helpful tool for you to know what's going to happen in your specific area. All right, so please take advantage of that. And then again, real quick, just to remind you, when these advisories come out, the one that's going to come out at 11 p.m. Eastern Time, the public advisory is very, very helpful as well. Please read that. The full advisory will come out every 6 hours, with an intermediate advisory every 3 hours between those full advisories. And this gives you a wealth of information as well. But what I want you to read is the discussion and the outlook, just to give you a broad, quick look. You know, this isn't too lengthy here. All right, I'm not asking you to read a book. So this gives you a few paragraphs, what's happening and what's forecast to happen down the road. Then, and this is extremely important, what are the hazards affecting land? And I want you to translate that to, what are the hazards that are going to affect me? What's going to affect me? This will help answer that. Now, we're not going to get it down to your specific address necessarily, or your driveway or what have you, but these are the answers to your questions. And these are the facts. This is not somebody else's opinion. These are forecasts, but this is from the source, the National Hurricane Center, and you can read all of that right here. Hazards affecting land. These are the impacts that we talk about. Storm surge, wind, rainfall, the threat of surf, high surf, etc. All right, and maybe even the threat of tornadoes. So please read the public advisory when it comes out. The next one due out in less than an hour, probably about 40 minutes or so from the time I'm recording this. 11 p.m., 5 a.m., 11 a.m., 5 p.m. Eastern Time are when those full public advisories come out. And then you can go in and read other products. So I want to try to sort of train you where to look for information, the same kind of information that I look at when I'm determining where I'm going to set up my camera equipment, etc. All right? So just a real quick reminder, we do have our app, and people have been asking about it. It's on the Apple App Store, of course, and it's Hurricane Impact, 2 words. It is also on Google Play, and from what I'm understanding from people, you have to put it in quotes. So quote, double quote there, right? I can't draw it there. Hurricane Impact in quotes, evidently. I don't know why it's so hard to find on the Google Play Store. It's kind of annoying, but you can search Hurricane Impact or try HurricaneTrack, which is you're trying to find this logo right here. That's what you're looking for. If you can see that icon, Hurricane Impact with quotes, or Hurricane Impact, all one word. Why it is so difficult, I don't know. I'm going to put a link to it in the description of this video. That'll help too, right? So check that out. And I'll be posting on Twitter tomorrow, and then sometime tomorrow we'll be going live on YouTube, probably towards the afternoon, and we'll just be live as long as we can be. And that's free for everybody. There's no charge for that. I want to get as much information as I can out to the people. But for these camera views and the exclusive stuff that I have pioneered over the last 15 years or so, it's in the app. It's a wonderful aggregation of all the stuff that we do in one convenient package. Hurricane Impact, easy to find on the App Store, harder to find on Google Play, apparently. So search for Hurricane Impact. If you want it, search for it. You should be able to find it. But I'm going to put a link to it in the description, so it should be a piece of cake. All right, so that's it. I'm going to get some sleep here in a little bit. I'll be back in the morning with a full discussion. We'll look at the overnight models, see what's new. Hopefully we don't wake up tomorrow to a really strong hurricane and I look outside in Gainesville and everybody's gone. You never know. Some spooky things have happened after I've gone to sleep in hurricanes of the past, believe me. One day I'll write about that in an upcoming book. All right, keep preparing if you're in the area of where this is headed, and get some rest too. You're going to need it. Tomorrow's the last day to get things done. I am Mark Sudduth for HurricaneTrack.com in Gainesville, Florida. I'll be out and about all day tomorrow, starting to set up the equipment, getting everything ready. I'll keep you abreast of what's happening with Michael along the way, and that will start with a video in the early morning, 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, something like that at the latest, Eastern Time, and we will go from there. Have a good rest of your Monday night. Thanks for tuning in. I'll talk to you more tomorrow.